When it comes to motorcycles, it might seem like every country makes them, but the truth is, only a handful of countries really know how to build great ones. Motorcycles that don't just work, but define a culture, set the standard, win races, turn heads, and last for decades. The rest? They're either playing catch-up or building clones of what these countries already perfected. So today we're breaking down why only a few countries truly get motorcycles right and what makes their bikes so damn legendary. You might be surprised which countries made the cut and which ones didn't. And make sure you stick around till the end, because one of the best bike-building nations, almost no one talks about them. Let's kick it off with the king of consistency, Japan, the engineering powerhouse. When you think of reliable, practical, bulletproof bikes, Japan owns that space. Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, the Big Four. But why is Japan so dominant? It starts with precision engineering. Japanese manufacturers spent decades perfecting mass production without sacrificing quality. Their bikes don't just run, they keep running. For years, even abused. The Honda Cub, most produced motor vehicle in history. Over 100 million units, and they still sell it. That little 50 cubic centimeter bike put Honda on the map and changed motorcycling forever. Then, in the 70s and 80s, Japan flipped the motorcycle world on its head. While Europe was still clinging to air-cooled twins and quirky electrics, Japan was dropping liquid-cooled inline-fours, reliable carbs, and disc brakes. The Kawasaki Z1, the Suzuki GSX-R, the Yamaha R1, the Honda Fireblade. These weren't just great bikes, they were industry reset buttons. Want to go fast, cheap, and never worry about it breaking down? You buy Japanese. Even today, Japan's got the broadest range, from beginner 125s to hyperbikes like the Hayabusa and H2R. And whether it's a budget commuter or a MotoGP machine, the build quality is always tight. But if Japan mastered consistency, the next country mastered character. Before I reveal to you what that country is, I ask that you quickly check if you are subscribed, as YouTube has a glitch that randomly unsubscribes you, and I noticed 99% of you aren't subscribed. I want to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and your help would be massively appreciated. Now, let's reveal the second country. Italy, the soul of speed. You don't just ride an Italian motorcycle. You feel it. Ducati, MV Agusta, Aprilia, Moto Guzzi. These aren't bikes you buy with your head. You buy them with your heart. So, what makes Italian motorcycles special? Let's start with design. They're sculpted like supermodels. Even a base model Ducati monster turns more heads than a $30,000 touring rig. That's not an accident. In Italy, form and function have to coexist. But it's not just about looks. Italian bikes are built for performance, especially on twisty roads and racetracks. Ducati's desmodromic valves, Aprilia's active aerodynamics, and MV Agusta's ride-by-wire throttle mapping. These aren't gimmicks. They're race-proven tech, filtered down into road bikes. They also ride differently. They're sharp, precise, almost twitchy. They demand your attention, but when you give it, you're rewarded with pure adrenaline. The only downside? Maintenance. Italian bikes can be temperamental. If you ignore service intervals, they bite back. But if you treat them right, they make you feel like a racer on every ride. And speaking of racing, Germany, engineering for the long haul. BMW is the heavyweight here, and it represents German motorcycle philosophy perfectly. German bikes are built like tanks, not always the flashiest, but they're engineered to endure. Take the BMW GS line. The R1250 GS is probably the most popular adventure bike on the planet. It's been around in various forms for decades, and people use it to cross entire continents. What's their secret? Boxer engines, shaft drives, telelever suspension, stuff that doesn't just sound fancy. It's built to eliminate wear, improve balance, and last forever. But it's not all about rugged touring. The BMW S1000RR was Germany's "hey, we can do speed too" moment. When it dropped in 2009, it had the highest horsepower in its class and beat Japan at its own game. Even their electric efforts, like the CE04, show a bold approach to design. It's not about copying anyone, it's about doing things their way. German motorcycles feel like they were designed by engineers who ride, and that's why they age well and hold value. Now, if German bikes are the long-distance thinkers, the next country is all about heritage. The United Kingdom, the birthplace of cool. Before Japan took over in the 70s, the UK was the global motorcycle scene. Triumph, Norton, BSA, Royal Enfield. These brands weren't just popular, they defined the cafe racer era. Triumph's Bonneville was the poster bike of the 60s. Steve McQueen, James Dean, rockers in leather jackets. British bikes were loud, stylish, and dangerous in the best way. But here's what's interesting. Even though many British brands collapsed in the 70s and 80s, the DNA survived. Triumph made a massive comeback in the 90s, blending retro styling with modern reliability. Today, they're making some of the most beautiful bikes on the road, like the Thruxton RS, Speed Triple, and Tiger Explorer. Royal Enfield, now India-owned but UK-born, keeps that classic Brit single-cylinder charm alive. The UK also played a massive role in motorcycle racing, especially with legends like the Isle of Man TT and racers like Barry Sheene. British bikes might not dominate every spec sheet, but they have something you can't measure: attitude. Austria, the quiet killer. One word: KTM. This is the country nobody expected to show up and then dominate dirt, enduro, and now street categories. KTM started with off-road bikes, and for decades, they were the kings of motocross and enduro racing. Their bikes were lightweight, aggressive, and packed with race tech straight from the factory. But then, something crazy happened. They built the Super Duke, a street fighter with a V-twin so wild they had to call it the Beast. Then came the RC8C, the 1290 Adventure, and a full suite of performance road bikes. And KTM didn't just follow trends, they led. They pushed tech like cornering ABS, quick shifters, and even airbag vests before most brands caught up. They also own Husqvarna and partner with GasGas, giving them influence across multiple motorcycle categories. Austria is not flashy, but KTM is the definition of track-ready, out of the box. And now they're even in MotoGP, proving they can hang with the best of the best. And while Austria is busy carving up corners at 180 miles per hour, another country is cruising down the highway with a whole different kind of swagger. The cruiser capital, Harley-Davidson, Indian, Buell. No list is complete without talking about America's deep love affair with cruisers. What makes American bikes different? It's the culture. These bikes aren't built for corner carving. They're built for the open road, for torque, for rumble, for presence. Harley's V-Twin Thunder is iconic. You feel it before you even see it. The bikes are big, low, and heavy, but they ride like you're gliding on pavement. Indian, revived in the 2010s, took that formula and refined it. They brought better performance, updated tech, and kept the retro charm. Then there's Buell, America's attempt to go sport bike. And while it never truly went mainstream, it proved US engineering could innovate. Sure, American bikes don't dominate racing, but when it comes to lifestyle, mod culture, and community, they're unmatched. No other country made a motorcycle into a personality the way the US did. And if you are American, let me know in the comments below. Where are my beloved Americans at? The best at building bikes with personality. And speaking of personality, India, the underrated giant. You might not think of India as a motorcycle powerhouse, but you should. They make more bikes than almost anyone in the world. But it's not just about volume. It's about building bikes that survive brutal traffic, heat, and rough roads every day. Royal Enfield is the most iconic example. They've turned basic singles into cult classics. The Classic 350, Interceptor 650, and Himalayan all reflect rugged simplicity, and they sell globally. But the real story? India is booming in innovation. Brands like TVS and Bajaj are partnering with BMW, KTM, and Triumph to build high-quality bikes at lower costs. And let's not forget electric. India is leading the charge with brands like Revolt, Ola Electric, and Ultraviolet, creating EVs that are fast, smart, and affordable. They've gone from budget builders to smart bike innovators, and it's happening fast. In 10 years, India might be leading the motorcycle world outright. So who didn't make the cut? You'll notice a few big countries missing from this list. Why? Because great motorcycles aren't just about economy or horsepower. They're about engineering, legacy, culture. China makes a lot of motorcycles, but few great ones. Their bikes often copy existing designs and lack innovation. They're improving, yes, but they haven't built anything iconic yet. France had some decent bikes in the past, like Vauxhall, but never broke into the mainstream. And Russia? Minimal presence outside military-style sidecars. Even countries like Canada and Australia produce riders, not bikes. To build a truly great motorcycle, you need more than an assembly line. You need obsession. And if you are as obsessed with bikes as I am, then you should probably find out about the 7 levels of riding a motorcycle so you can know where you stand on the list. Are you a level 1 rider just starting out, or are you a level 7 absolute pro? Find out by watching the video I made. Click on screen now to watch, and remember to leave a like and subscribe so one day I can afford my own motorcycle.